showed you just a couple of minutes ago what our administration is doing on the border. It makes no sense, right? We're just ignoring it. The next story I'm about to show you makes even less sense. Reason.com linked to a story yesterday from a website called consumertraveler.com. And this report is baffling. I saw it last night about 8 o'clock last night. And I said, can somebody verify any of this, please? It's baffling to say the least. There's a new supplemental application that you may have to fill out in order to get a passport. And here's the easy application. It's so easy. This one is 2 pages. The new one is 5. It may make things a little harder for you to get a passport, or easier for the government to deny a passport. After becoming aware of the new questionnaire through the governmental website federalregister.gov, anytime the government issues news paperwork, they have to go through the OMB, okay? The Office of Budget Management, and they have to estimate things like, here it is, estimated burden on this. Well, these guys found this, and Edward Hasbrook, he's at consumertraveler.com, he went to obtain the actual new questionnaire. We have it right here on the boards behind me, but here's what they found. Quote, the U.S. Department of State is proposing a new biographical questionnaire for some passport applicants. The proposed form DS5513 asks for all addresses since birth, lifetime employment history, including employers and supervisors, names, addresses, and telephone numbers, personal details of all siblings, mother's address 1 year prior to your birth, any religious ceremony around the time of your birth, and a variety of other information. According to the proposed form, failure to provide the information requested may result in the denial of your U.S. passport application. OMB says it's going to take about 45 minutes to fill it out. I challenge you. You cannot fill this out in a day. You look at these forms, and it becomes apparent very quickly that unless you have a photographic memory, it's going to take serious research to verify all this information. So, as I'm reading these things, I mean, they're asking you, can you name the employer you had when you were 14 years old? Because here lists all the current and former places of employment in the United States and abroad. If you worked at a McDonald's when you were 15 years old, you not only have to say the company name, McDonald's, the address, the city, the county, the time employed, the supervisor, but you also have to provide his phone number. How is any of this relevant to getting a passport? Who do they not want getting out of the country? Okay? Because we're not worried about people coming in. We're worried about people going out. My first thought was, well, okay, we're trying to make sure that the passport is real. The passport is solid. Because we have to make sure that you really are a citizen. But then I remembered, this administration doesn't care if you're a citizen. Whether you came across the Rio Grande just 10 minutes ago, you're just like somebody who's been here for 100 years. You can't ask any of these questions as an employer. Maybe it's for the radical Muslims that we don't want leaving and connecting overseas. But then I remembered, this administration doesn't believe that radical Muslim terrorists even exist. Who are they trying to stop getting a passport and trap into our country? Or is it something more sinister? I think it's this one. Like the DREAM Act workaround. Why is it you're a racist if you ask a single question of somebody when they're coming into the country, but on the way out, you got to name the people that were present at your birth and give their phone number. Do you know the nurse that was in the room when you were born? I didn't have my pants and a pencil at the time. We reached out to the State Department earlier today, and we got a statement and a response from the State Department official a short while ago. Not shockingly, they didn't really answer any of the questions we had, just left us with more questions. You can read their full response at glennbeck.com. But we also have all of the forms. We have these up at glennbeck.com right now. I want you to go there. I want you to download this form, and I want you to try to fill it out. They say it'll take 45 minutes. No, it won't. No, it won't. I challenge you. I don't think you can complete this form by tomorrow. In a world gone mad where nothing makes sense, the only options I see here, not good. A, there's some problem that we don't know about. We can't verify citizenship. Outside of Donald Trump, I haven't heard about that problem. So, is there a real big problem? They say this is going to affect least 75,000 people, because they don't specify who is going to get this form. Not everybody will. You might not. Who? B, maybe this is a case for the national ID card. I don't know. C, they're trapping people here. Who do they not want leaving the country? That seems ridiculous. D, when you have the cries of the undocumented, hear me, when you have the cries of the undocumented, and no one will help, Congress won't act, call in Cass Sunstein, who's the guy who could say, well, wait a minute. Instead of trying to document the undocumented, why not make the documented undocumented? You figure it out. Read it. Try to fill this form out. Try to do it in 45 minutes. You can't. Read it now at glennbeck.com.